gonna have a bad time. So here we go, getting into the first game on Belshir Vestige. It's Rush, the Terran in Gold League currently. He did get demoted down to Diamond, or down out of Diamonds, all the way down to Gold once he qualified in. I think we're in Season 6 now. Griff stuck in Silver as we speak. Two of them both doing quite a bit of training leading up to this. So the ladder matches, they have both been laddering, trying to figure out. So down here we got Griff down in the bottom right, dressing in green. Rush going for the traditional red. I do kind of like that. So there we go. UCMOP in the chat now voting for Team Jacob. So yep, there we go. One of these is, I don't know who's red and who's green in Team Jacob and Team, what's the other one? Edward. That's the one I always get wrong. I have not read Twilight. That is how this cast is going to start. That I have not read Twilight. Now, the first thing we're going to do, let's get the nameplates up there. What was the other thing I thought? There was a Control L? No. There was some way of getting rid of part of this map over here. You'd think I would have done my research, but 100% of my casting is all about not doing research. I'm going to need a whole lot of water because my voice is slightly going already. We already beat Final Fantasy VII, so Tom can stop faking that I'm supposed to be streaming Final Fantasy VII. It's not even in games from way out night. Tonight is Friday night, so everyone should be out partying, having a good time, and, casting their friends playing SE2. I'm going to look at the EPM right away, and bam! There's the story right there. Griff is already leading the ridiculous EPM war. Seeing a basic barracks first and gateway first here from both players, so it does look like it's going to be not too, so we're not going to see any proxy cheese just yet, so I'm excited to see that. Both players are really, really getting into each other's brains this past week, where Rush does know that Griff does like the proxy Stargate and the oracles, and Rush has said that yes, Protoss OP for everything. So Griff and I talked about this, and we mentioned the fact that yes, Rush thinks that Protoss are OP for everything. So he says, so what do I play? And I said, well, anything. If he thinks everything is OP, then he's going to lose to Protoss. That's just as simple as it is. Now, the thing is, where Griff comes in, what is he susceptible to from a Terran perspective? Well, I don't really know much about his Terran play because I haven't casted too many of his games. The only thing I know he's susceptible to is the only time I beat him as Terran, and I beat him as a proxy rack. So, bam, proxy racks, and that's not what we're seeing. So, first off, right out of the bat, I can say is that, I don't know, maybe we're just not going to see that. Cybercore gets down. Good timing on everything so far. Griff got a 16 pylon, so the basic maneuvers where sometimes Griff does forget that Cybercore or the gas, things go kind of wrong. So there's one gas right now producing, and I think that will mean that we will see a Reaper, so it's going to be a Reaper opening already moved into the base there. Now this Zealot is also going to cross the base, so I'm a little bit curious to find out what's going to happen here in the middle of the map when both of these units start moving across. So there's the Zealot. It's already boogieing across the map. Following up on that is a second Zealot, getting a second gas right there, just working on the supply right now is that guy Griff, staying just barely ahead, finally up a little bit of supply bucket 26, but as he's ahead of Rush, that's a good thing. This Reaper is heading down the west end of the map while this Zealot is going up the east end map, and you know what happens with west end Reapers and east end Zealots is they all meet up together in a Pet Shop Boys song. The factory is now going down, so barracks into command center into factory, pretty standard opening as the one barracks expand. Moving straight into the factory means that we're probably going to see, I think he's going to head towards M&M, but this Reaper is going to make it up here at the exact same time, so Griff is going to see this, but at the same time, we're going to see a Zealot heading up here, and I don't think there's really all that much that can respond to this at the moment. You got a couple of Marines all coming out at the same time, so we're getting a couple of kills out of this Zealot at the same time, less kills out of this Reaper, so this Zealot is going to put in a bit of work. Gets, oh no, just a one kill right now, and so that leaves, and two, takes down a Marine, and now it just looks like Rush is going to try to micro his way around this with the units, and I think try to get a couple of the SCVs in the way. Griff is not going to get distracted by that, and actually comes in here and tries to get in and around and tries to kill a couple of those. Just gets slightly stutter stepped around those units there, but the Reaper's going to come in here and assist this, and this Zealot is going to leave with only 2 kills, but still that did put maybe a tiny dent, probably not enough of one, but you do see there's a slight delay just going on there, but at the same time Griff did manage to get out a pretty early Mothership core. Now if you look down at the rest of the tech, we're going to see it is going to be 4-gate. So 4-gate right now for Griff, but more of a defensive 4-gate since he does not have an extended pylon. That's going to be a bit of a problem because if Rush is moving into a bunker now, getting a few units out just to protect things, getting that Widow Mine out, so that's pretty early, and that's really going to hurt things. So the Reaper moving out to do a little bit of damage down the side. There's Griff getting the proxy pylon in place. Very late proxy pylon for a 4-gate, because by the time the 4-gate actually hits the second base, is probably going to be up and running. And I'm not sure if each other actually, if those two units saw each other happening there. There's a lot of movement going on on the map from Rush, who's moving out. He's got the Reaper heading down in that direction, got the Marine coming over in this direction, and I think the Marine might eventually scout this. I can't quite tell. This Reaper might not last very long, but oh no, I'm not sure Griff fully saw what was going on there with just a one Reaper going past. There's this SCV is coming in behind everything, but Griff is trying to move out with almost 100% of his army right now, and a lot of these units, these Marines, are kind of boogieing around, and they have not yet scouted. They have not yet scouted the proxy pylons. However, he is going to see these amount of units right here and the mothership core, so that's going to tell him all he needs to know. This Reaper gets up here, does not really stay for too many kills, but does get a full scout. Pretty much can be certain that it is going to be a 4-gate happening, but with these bunkers and these Widow Mines, I don't think, unless Griff can get, he is getting his plus armor up there, as you can see up there in the production tab, but unless Griff, there's the Reaper running by, and a few other units just coming in here to check and see what kind of numbers he's got. But we're getting another sentry just warped in here, so at this point, Rush is not quite certain where the warp-ins are going to come from, but these Stalkers are not going to make it very far past. Oh! Does take out one of the Stalkers right there, but the remainder of the units, if you look at the army supply, Griff is a little bit in front just now, but he does take down one of the barracks, and then a Guardian Shield right there, and a few well-timed force fields. The force fields keeping these SCVs away from the bunkers, but I think these two mostly full bunkers are probably going to be able to do something. I'm not sure if the Time Warp is actually affecting the SCV Rush at the same time or not, but that does chase him away for now, as there are not many units left, but he does have these Widow Mines are still undetected. Another Time Warp hitting down there. The Mothership Core does get sniped, and both the bunkers do get repaired to the point of, and there is enough of these pylons moving forward, so there is quite a lot going on there, but the Widow Mines do move out slowly. Expand, you monkey. There we go. So in behind this, we're not seeing expansion from Griff, but he might go back home just to see what he could do about this. Now the EPM is up in the 66 range. Griff's EPM is only down at 38, so we are seeing a bit more of a story right now, because behind this, Griff getting the Robo Facility, Forge is just working on the +1, and now it seems like it's pretty comfortable for Rush to be able to move out, and you see the worker supply there and the army supply, so now with this amount, there's now 3 barracks, and there come the medevacs. So it was pretty much that the factory worked on a couple of defensive frontline Widow Mines. I'm not sure how Griff is going to be able to get around this kind of play unless he expands really, really quickly, and by quickly I mean 5 minutes ago, because I think that was really what was going to make the biggest amount of difference. And where if you look at the income right now, that is 1,400. That is the mule difference happening right there. Insane proxy pylon is the comment from the chat. I'm not really going to probably read too much of the chat at the moment, but I am going to try to keep up with what is going on the base. We have this SCV is just sitting put on the Zelnaga Tower. There's a number of pylons placed all over the place, so just in case of huge doom drops, Griff is going to be able to see if Rush moves out from the side. Not fully from this point on, but oh yeah, there we go. Does see the Doom, a little bit of a drop, or at least an attempt at one just there, but that just means that this pylon is going to get sniped and nothing much is going to occur from there. So Griff pretty much on a bit of a back foot right now, but because of that, he's pretty much back in his base right now. Pretty much. I'm just going to say pretty much all the time. But this robotics facility, not seeing much out of that aside from perhaps a little bit of 2-year-old attacking my computer while I play. This is love. Rush is at home. He does have his nephew, I believe. Nephew? Niece? God, I should probably find out the gender of his relatives. But here comes a bit of a... This is pretty much the retaliation here from Rush. This is all the units all coming out, but he is leaving both of these bunkers full, so it's not fully an all-in. I am going to make that statement. But despite that, here we go with the Guardian Shield and a Time Warp affecting these retreating units, but they get into that medevac, just lickety-split. This sentry gets slightly caught out, and then gets caught out of place by the forward-placed Widow Mine. I need to remember all the names of the units. This is going to be an exercise in me trying to remember what the hell I'm talking about. The army supply is definitely way, way up for Rush, and it looks like he's just ready for this two-base push coming out. Not quite an all-in, definitely not an all-in, as he's leaving a number of units. Oh no, he now has emptied both bunkers, but there are a lot of Widow Mines just waiting to stay back home. Here is the Doom Drop right into the main base, getting defended by the photon cannon, which does not last for very long. Griff needs to get the remainder of his units up here. He is starting to pump out an immortal or two. I think that's his first one coming out, and there's the first GG comes from Griff, and we'll go into game number 2 just as soon as we hopefully get this one up. I want to make sure that I've got all my cool. There it is. There's the victory for Rush SC2. We'll head on over to the score screen. We'll talk. We'll just have a quick chat over here and see what's happening. I don't think we're in the party as it speaks, but no, don't see it. I don't. Should we? Let me invite everybody into a party, and maybe that'll help. Invite to party, and then invite to party. There we go. Yay! Like we knew what we were doing. So there's the first win. A little nerve-wracking, says Rush. Well, there you go. So there's the first GG. Now, the next thing we're going to